There is a way that seems right to a man, but in the end, it leads to death. Even in laughter, the heart may feel pain, and rejoicing may end in grief. The one wayward-eyed heart will reap the result of his ways, but the good man reaps the reward of his dealings. And now that I got your attentions, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I push you into a world of spell cards, trap cards, and monsters that create your more fantasies, imaginations, and twisted Armageddon dreams. So, hold to behold, I am very sorry that I have not keeping tabs on you guys. I was losing my time in this game. And what can I say, this is one of the best games of tabletop that I can play that is card related. Also, sorry see the audio is a little bit off. I'm trying a new headphone set so it will be better for you guys to hear me, but I forgot that I needed to use it all the time. And now that we got that out of the way, let's make this short. This is my ultimate guide to get into Yu-Gi-Oh! Meta the easiest and cheapest way possible, just for you guys, so you guys can play with me or play with other Yu-Gi-Oh! Players and tell them, hey, my deck is better than yours. So let's be honest with all of us. The only reason we're playing this is because we want to be that guy. The guy that say, ha, get your shit dunked on. That's the reason we're playing this. Hey, and no shame. It's like it is. Sometimes we just need a way to vent our emotions in a very healthy way, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Does that for me. Unless the other thing comes around that is my Mario obsession, that will be another delay story. I don't know when that's gonna kick in, but when it kicks in, remember, we're gonna have a hiatus and then I'm gonna talk about it. Just to be the same paper with this one of how I make the excuse just to say, hey, so I've been doing this and now this is the video for that other thing. So now guys, let me just give you attention to this specific website. We got a website that is called Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links Meta. You're gonna see it right there in the screen and you're gonna click tier list. Are you clicking tier list? You're gonna see all the tier 1, 3, and 2. That is probably the best one to get because it's gonna last you the longest for the tier list. That way you can play more and, you know, waste less gems. Because usually what they do when you got a tier 1 deck and you cannot stop it is that they just ban a few cards, and by banning it means you cannot play them anymore, or restrict some cards that is just 1 restriction, 2 restriction, or 3 restriction. You cannot have a card that is 1 restriction and another card that is 1 restriction in the same deck. That is one of the things. So yeah, that's a way to balance Yu-Gi-Oh! Most of the time. And what can I say, is a very nice way to balance, because that way you can play other decks that are not that strong. Right now I'm showing you an old tier list, but don't worry, I'm gonna put the new one on the screen just now. As the famous words of someone that I knew from Duel Links, you are a third-rate duelist with a fourth-rate deck. What happened, Blue Eyes? I thought your whole thing was to be first. How the mighty has fallen. But I don't blame him. Brandon is an actual beast. And now that you see what are the decks, you can tell that Brandon, it has a very strong toolbox deck that any situation that you are in, he can actually work with it and work against you. That is one of the big problems with Brandon. Shinovers can attack directly. Blue Eyes, come on, it's a beatdown deck. We don't need to be that, you know, deep into it. Beatdown, effects, make sure everything bounce back. And Chimera is a resources at the game. The more resources you got, the better it is for you. Also, you kill the resources of the other guys, so that's the reason why the Chimera deck is 2 tier. That was the one that I actually started building because I don't know what it is. I really hated the concept of building a Chimera deck, and I wanted to build something cool like the Blue Eyes deck or something like that, but nah. Big muscle, you know, beast, and I don't know, I just fell in love with it for no reason. And then when I noticed that most of the monsters cannot be destroyed by battle and it's a combo deck with fusion potential, I said, okay, you convinced me. I did not need more convincing now. Now you convinced me. Let's go. Let's play the, you know, damn tiger. Why not? And so when I started thinking about it, I saw, you know, I could put a Speedroid deck. Too late. I'm already in the middle of the Chimera building process, and when I realized that, I was too late for the quest to build that. And though I am thinking right, and I think a Speedroid deck would actually topple most of the deck here, but I think it's too expensive for beginners, honestly. So try your best to grab one of the decks. They are in top tier and they are least expensive. So let me tell you with how much money you're gonna work out when you start playing. But first, let's make sure you understand the concept. It's very easy. You go to Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links meta and just pick the tier list, get the things that you need, search the information, click the deck that you mush. Oh my goodness, I don't know how to speak. Click the deck that you most want to play, and that way you can actually play your favorite deck of the meta, or just pick the coolest one and then starting wasting your decisions into it. When you click one of the top tier or second tier cards, you're gonna have another list of cards potential that you can build right into the game, and that is gonna help you a lot to see what is the cheapest one and the most accessible one. Most of the times Duel Links is gonna have a specific area where you're gonna have popular cards that are using in the meta, and you don't need to search it that much. For example, there's some popular MSTs. They are, cards that destroy spell cards. Floodgates, there are cards that destroys most of the cards on the opponent's field, and those type of cards. Little by little, you're gonna learn this specific the wording for those cards. It's not that hard. It's just that it's an easier way to say that when you're explaining Yu-Gi-Oh! And I think we need an easier way to say it, because honestly, to explain Yu-Gi-Oh! When you're playing Yu-Gi-Oh! You need to stop the video because it's too many effects going around. But don't worry guys, it's something that you're gonna get easily when you start playing with good tier decks, because you're not reading every effect, you're just playing with the cards and you start seeing the functions they got, so you don't need to think that much. The game does all the thinking for you, and all the restrictions also. That is a great part. That way you can learn Yu-Gi-Oh! A lot easier than just traditionally with the cards and stuff like that, because there's a lot of effects and interactions that usually you would not know by just reading the card. Like I just explained, you're new to the game, so it's obvious that you will not know what is a floating effect when it happens. But when you get hit by it, you're gonna notice what is a floating effect, and then you're gonna be like, oh, this is. So see, you're just starting out in Yu-Gi-Oh! And stuff like that. Playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Online with a game and stuff like that is a lot easier to get into Yu-Gi-Oh! Especially with the meta specifically. That way you can start practicing as soon as possible. So you have a good coach that you can play with friends and stuff like that, that explains all the technical wording of Yu-Gi-Oh! Will be great. But let's be honest, we don't have that kind of persons around. So the best thing is a game that actually does specific the interactions possible, and that way you can learn those interactions and start learning Yu-Gi-Oh without, you know, paying somebody to teach you how to play games. Imagine the rules are so specifically hard that sometimes even coaches have a hard time to understanding some of the rules of a specific wording because of some restrictions of Yu-Gi-Oh. But hey, we're here just to make you make your first meta deck, not to explain every detail about Yu-Gi-Oh when it gets frustrating. I can probably do another video about that, but it depends, guys. See, this gets like, I don't know, maybe 1,000 likes, probably. It would be good, and maybe I would do a video about that. The other thing is that subscribe, please, because see, I get to 100 subscribers, I can keep doing more videos like this. And put a like. Now this put me into my other point of Yu-Gi-Oh. How much gems can I get out of the system? As you see now, the tour from the underworld is a good way to get your starting gems. It's a very fast way to get the gems. Most of the time, the 9k will be the best way to get all the gems necessary for you to start building your own deck. And most of the time you want to wait to increase your level to the gate that is like 10 or 18, and that is most of the level you're gonna get to get into 9k of gems, and then you can start building your own deck of the tier list that you liked. Like I said, easy way to start making gems, the quest from the underworld, and that is just a few training sessions of all the things that you know from Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff like that. It's gonna teach you a lot just for this specific Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. What I'm seeing now in this video that I got is the little events that they put that are a great source of gems. Most of the time you want to do that, and also at the stage level ups, there is the little missions that you need to do so you can keep on, you know, playing. And so by the events and those things and some other few things, you can get the ball rolling to get all the gems necessary to start, you know, playing for the cards. In other words, we're just gonna start gambling. That's it, so we can get the cards that we need. And now, so you go to Duel Studios, right? And deck list, that is one of the things that we got in Duel Links. And go to this area. You can copy any deck from the tier list, obviously, that you feel like you like, and just copy paste into the nearest empty slot of the decks, and you can start searching for the cards, because it has top corner a specific search or how to obtain card, right? And it's gonna give you a very easy way to how to attain it. And so you feel that you're missing cards, right? That is from your specific deck structure, right? Of, you know, the tier list that I mentioned. You can put them in favorites and search them later when you get the gems necessary for that. For example, I'm missing like a few cards from the Chimera deck, and that's without counting the other specific account that I'm making, right? That is for this dueling stuff, to see if I can actually make the Blue Eyes deck or the Speed Race deck. That's one of the things that I'm trying to do. Another thing, see, you're searching for a specific character like this one that is right here in my screen. See, you don't do the missions according to this character that you need to pass, you're never gonna get the character unlocked. So you need to search the requirements for that character. You're gonna see that little by little you're gonna increase the level of duelists that you're gonna be able to duel. And also you got a list of things here that you can grab when you make certain requirements appear. Okay, so don't get frustrated, just read the requirements, put the cards that you need, and then just do the requirements, and you're gonna get the characters that you need. Right now what you're seeing are the boxes where you're gonna get the cards. So like I said, most of the cards are not gonna be given to you. You're gonna be obviously gambling for them and your gyms to get the cards that you need. Sometimes they're gonna give you a freebie like this one that I got, and it's gonna be very nice because hey, who doesn't like free stuff? And sometimes they're gonna give you free decks that you can use, right? But most of the times you may need to waste on gyms to get the cards that you need. So you can see that right here I am starting out, I am doing things, and I got an ultra rare from the Kaiba stuff. Ironic, right, when I'm gonna use a Chimera from Yu-Gi-Oh! That's one of the things that I found that hilarious. But yeah, most of the boxes you're gonna need to spin to actually get the things that you need. So you're gonna see the decks that are made here. I do not recommend this. See, you're gonna be in Yu-Gi-Oh! Meta. I do not recommend it unless they're free, like this one. And that way I do recommend it that you use the free ones so you can level up as quickly as possible without, you know, having the problem of, oh, my deck is not good enough, I cannot do nothing. Just try not to waste the gems. The only reason you're gonna waste the gems is to create the meta deck that you want to create. That's the only reason you're gonna waste gems. See, you cannot get it for free? Too bad. We need to start, you know, and get the things that we want. Those boxes from the special area are important. Those are the special areas boxes where you can get specific things that are new or old that are used in the popular meta right about now. And you know, they got very, you know, nice combination of cards that you can grab that are useful, you know what I mean, for specific deck buildings or stuff like that. So you feel like you're gonna need a meta card like in permanence, but yeah, you can waste gems for that because that's gonna be a card that you're gonna use in every deck because of the utility that it has. Those are meta defying cards. So yeah, make sure to waste the gems in the specific things that I tell you. Grab the gems from this girl. They are very useful. Do the quizzes, do the tutorials. Very easy way to do gems and stuff like that. Let's see, we're missing something. We're missing something. No, I guess we cover mostly everything. I guess we cover everything. Lies. Yu-Gi-Oh! Rewards you for every interaction that you do in the game daily. So in other words, the more you invest in the game day by day, the more, you know, gifts is gonna give you, like gems, cards, or other stuff. So do have the regular thing to just go inside the game every day about, like, I don't know, for my case it's like at 3 p.m. right, that it gets the little day cycle going, and I can, like, you know, get to the other day and just grab all the resources that I need from that day. But yeah, it's one of the good things that Yu-Gi-Oh! has. And the other thing that I almost forgot is that you're gonna get ultra tickets. Those ultra tickets are very important because the ultra tickets can give you specific cards that you may need, and the very rare ones are the ultra tickets with a blue eye head in the ticket. So that ticket can grab any card from the box. Most of the time you want to grab spells or track cards that are used for, you know, the meta, that are very good, like Book of Moon, Book of Eclipse. Those are few examples. Droplin, that's another example. They're very good cards that you can grab with that ticket. The other cards that I'm gonna recommend is the SRs. especially since it has a drawing. It's a very good thing to just grab cards that are from the meta or cards that are specifically for your deck. That way you can grab the cards that is gonna help you to be successful. And then when you finish with all of that and you got your deck running and everything, hop into a rank duel. That way you can keep on getting to the ladder, and it's gonna give you more gems and more cards that you can use, so you can keep getting better in this specific deck building stuff. When you finish and get to the, I don't know, gold or legendary, you're gonna have enough gems to actually build another deck. See, you did not waste them trying to complete everything from the meta deck that you want. Also, one more thing, the boxes, when they run out of the cards that you want and you need another copy, you can reset them, right, to get the same amount of cards that there were before you started wasting all your monies in that specific box card, just in case. So guys, thank you for hearing me out. Thank you for watching the video. I know the video is not the same format that I usually get out all the other videos that I do, right? Most of the videos that I usually do was a hand. This one is a hand too, but it has passed so much time, right, that I forgot a few things of how to do a correct video of the format. So I decided to give it a hand and do it again, right? And there's a few things that I definitely forgot. For example, right now I don't even know how to put the CapCut to just make the videos in a square or rectangle, not in this weird rectangle that you're gonna see in the video, right? I hope I can fix that sooner or later, but this way I can put a video that it will help all of you guys and how to do your stuff. And look, I found out how to fix this specific issue. I think it's because I did not put an image first, right? So maybe that was the reason, but hey, things that you do little by little. I'm gonna look back at this and just be like, ooh, that video was very, very bad. But probably I'm just gonna be like, ooh, I miss doing some features of this video, right? To just hide that I'm doing bad videos. Who knows? Who knows how this is gonna turn out? I'm just doing the YouTube stuff for the experience and stuff like that. I really do not remember this part of the video. Like, I know that I was playing this on the quiz stuff, but I really do not remember it. See, you guys wanna copy exactly what I did here from the quiz tutor, right? That way you can pass it along and just, you know, win. Because I think they give you the same cards. I'm gonna leave it here, guys, so you can follow along and, you know, beat Kaiba's ass. And this is everything that I know about Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links and how to get into the meta as fast as possible. With a little bit of luck, you guys are gonna get your cards as quick as I did. It didn't even took me probably like 2 weeks, right, to get to gold from the stage, right, of, you know, rank. But for building the deck, it just took me like 2, maybe 3 days to build the deck, honestly, because I was searching most of the cards and it was just easy to search. So 2 to 3 days to get the necessary gems requirements to get the cards that I need. But it took me 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks to get to gold, because I was just having so much fun with the events, honestly. And so yeah, I was wasting my time, let's be honest. I was wasting my time. I could do it at any time, but yeah, it took me 2 weeks because I was just doing other stuff. And it's not 2 weeks because I was doing at the 24 hours. It's just 2 weeks, and I give it like 1 hour every day, or maybe less than that, like 30 minutes, and then I got into goals. So yeah, it was very easy in that area. And so guys, goodbye, have a good day, and have a nice year, because the year ended and it's a new year. So I hope you guys have a best year of your lives. And I'm gonna start mine by just having more time in YouTube, creating more videos, and having fun. Peace out.